Choice Monthly. That's right, this time it is the first Friday of October. And that means the first, or I guess that means the monthly games for October 2020 have been revealed. Which 12 games will be available to get in the Humble Choice bundle? For those of you not familiar, Humble Choice is a monthly subscription service where typically it says we curate 10 plus PC games for you to choose from every month, and you choose up to 9 from the list to keep forever. That's how it typically has been. Now, there's a limited time that the top tier subscribers, instead of getting 9 from the list, they get all 12 games from the list. This is a limited time deal, but I'm pretty sure it's been up for the past 3 months, so not sure exactly how limited it is. But I am subscribed to this, and every single month I go through each of the 12 games on this list and go through each and every one to determine if I want it, if I think I will play it, and sort of use the combined thoughts and feelings of each game to determine if I want to spend the $12 or so to unlock this month's games. If not, you are always able to pause it and just not use one of your remaining months for this month and just pause it for the next month. So the previous 2 months that I've done a video for, I have subscribed. But let's see how Humble Choice is. This is something that I did all the time, every single month, just on my own. I decided, why not record it and just talk through my thoughts for your ASMR enjoyment. Your enjoyment. It's not even late, but I'm talking like I'm tired. Okay. So we got these 12 games, technically 13. One of them's a bundle of 2 games. But we have Tropico 6 El Prez Edition. Because usually you're the El Prez Edition. We got Fae Tactics. We got the Sunless bundle, which is a bundle of Sunless Sea and Sunless Sky. We have Iron Danger. We have Autonauts, Age of Enlightenment. Shadows Awakening. Fantasy Blacksmith. The Suicide of Rachael Foster. Goat of Duty. The Uncertain Last Quiet Day. Basement. And Lightmatter. That is the 12 games available to purchase this month. So what I'm going to do is literally go through each and every one. I have Steam open over here and just check, read the reviews, look at this, what type of game it is if I'm not familiar with it, and sort of rate it on is this game positive, makes me more likely to get the bundle, middling, neutral, ambivalent, doesn't affect it, or a negative, as if this is a game I wouldn't play, and sort of a vote towards not getting the bundle. So let's just go through. Tropico 6 is the first game. I don't know what my goodness, I keep saying El Prez Edition and El Presidente. I'm getting that mixed up. El Presidente. Edition, whatever. I'm going to say this wrong and I'm going to go with it. I mean, typically a $55 game. So I know of this series, Tropico. guess at least 4 and 3. And I've barely played them. Basically, you are yes, El Presidente is back. Prove yourself once again as a feared dictator or peace-loving statesman on the island state of Tropico and shape the fate of your very own banana republic through 4 distinctive eras. So it's a city builder game where you are a dictator, sort of a parody, a satirical take on South American dictators and those nations, and you can sort of control your country, and like I said, you can be a feared dictator, peace-loving. You really build it all up in the way that you want. And, I like a good city builder. I'm not sure why I never really got into the previous Tropicos. It seemed fun. Lots of times city builders just have like a complex system that take a little bit to get used to, and I just sometimes don't have the time, or I get bored of it before I really understand what makes it good. It says play on large archipelagos for the first time in the series. Manage multiple islands at the same time. Send your agents on raids to foreign lands to steal world wonders and monuments to add them to your collection. Build bridges, construct tunnels, customize the looks of your palace at will. Revised research system. Ooh, election speeches are back. Address the people and make promises that you can't possibly keep. Heck yeah. So, I mean, this seems like when was this released? This was released March of 2019. When was Tropico 5 released? Tropico 5 was released 2014. Okay, wow, never mind. That was a 5-year gap. I didn't realize that gap was so big. So I own Tropico 4, which was 2011. Tropico 3, which was 2009. Wow, okay. That is, it's the new one, the first new one in, what was that, 6 years, 5 years? I already forgot what Tropico 5 came out, but, I mean, $55, that's a pretty good value. It seems nice. This, it being on the sort of #1 spot here is usually reserved for the top tier game, their sort of showcase game that they want to show off as the main draw for this month's bundle. I mean, it's a good game, I imagine. I don't know if it's quite a AAA game. This bundle doesn't really seem to have as big of a draw as previous ones. Like 2 months ago was Vampire, Golf with Your Friends, Forager. Last month, let's go back to this month. So what I feel like with Tropico, though, is that I usually, a couple of years after the release, I see them bundled pretty often. And I haven't played the previous ones. I mean, it looks really nice, and I'm sure it's really good. I probably would play this. I think this is a net positive. So I think this is a net positive towards the bundle. It's a nice game. I don't know if it has that. I mean, it by itself is good. I don't know if it's really like. It probably would be like a #2 or 3 spot on the sort of ideal bundle. It being the headliner is debatable. Let's check out Fae Tactics. Fae Tactics, a $20 game. Keep in mind, I mean, if you just like Tropico 6, which is $55, you can just use this to get it for $12. A great deal. Fae Tactics. In Fae Tactics, follow a is a vibrant world full of mystery and danger. Summon allies, cast spells, and befriend a motley crew of characters as you dive into the growing conflicts between man and magical beings, known as Fae. Okay, this is a strategy RPG, turn-based pixel graphics. It's actually published by Humble Bundle. That makes sense why it's included then. Okay, I know generally about Fae and sort of, the Fae wilds in a fantasy setting, right? What sort of game is this? Yeah, so it looks like grid-based and turn-based tactics. I never really played a lot of turn-based tactics games. Not super into a pixel graphic style as well. Seems to have a really unique gameplay. I mean, it looks really beautiful for being pixel graphics. I guess I always like to look up how long to beat as well. Fae Tactics, 30 hours. Wow. Even knowing that just because a game is longer doesn't mean that it's a better game or inherently has more value. Because I think the quality of those hours matters a lot. But good to get a sense. That's a very solid game. The story. Okay, let's look at the story. Long ago, the world of magic was separated from the natural world by elemental gates. One day, the seal on the gates was broken, flooding the natural world with magical Fae creatures once thought to be myths. The world's merging was imperfect, and much of the land was torn apart. The devastation claimed the lives of most of the population of natural and Fae creatures alike. Those that survived have forged new lives in the ruins of the old worlds, but growing tension between man and Fae threatened to finish what began with the opening of the gates. Okay, interesting. I'm coincidentally watching Legend of Korra right now, and for those of you that have also watched Legend of Korra, this whole merging of natural world and, magical Fae creatures is hitting a lot of similar notes to the season that I'm in right now. But anyways, and what the hard part about all of these bundles for me, if I just go to my profile here, I have over 1,400 games, and I clearly, even if I wanted to play them all, I cannot play them all. There's just too many. So a game really has to stand out to me, to be one that I will have to play over, other ones in my backlog. So, I mean, this game, and sometimes it's tough with so many games. I'm sure there's a lot of games that I may dismiss because of pixel graphics or, turn-based, that would actually be right up my alley, and I would totally love them. But, I'm not, I mean, this one is very ambivalent to me. I think it's just neutral. I'm not sure if I would ever actually play it, but I mean, it looks like a very solid game for someone that likes this type of games. I don't just have a history myself of liking these types of games, but I also just don't play them that much in the first place. Okay, let's look at the Sunless bundle. So this is a collection of Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies. So I actually already own Sunless Sea. Lose your mind, eat your crew, die, take the helm of your steamship and set sail for the unknown. Sunless Sea is a game of discovery, loneliness, and frequent death, set in the award-winning Victorian Gothic Rivers of Fallen London. Oh, I didn't look at the reviews for the other games. Oops. I mean, Fae Tactics has a, 96% positive recent reviews and 83, that's really good. 86, 85 for Tropico, very positive games. Sunless is at 74 to 84, pretty good. So I have Sunless, I have not played it yet, but I heard it's very good, good story. Like there's tons of reading, and it's sort of like an H.P. Lovecraft type. Let's see. Yeah, eating my crew, losing my mind. It's like an H.P. Lovecraft type environment. I think that's really awesome. Gothic horror RPG focus on exploration, storytelling, and frequent death. I guess I haven't played it yet. One sort of like I'm not a huge fan of survival type games that have permanent death. Like roguelikes. Like to me the best part of a video game is story and characters. Like that's great. And I think gameplay is another one. And by story I mean like going and seeing the story and like progressing through a narrative. Sometimes with survival games I feel like once you die you have to start over, and then you repeat a lot of the story that you already did, and you never get to see sort of the in-game story if you just keep dying. I really like having a sense of progression in the game, and like going through the story, hitting new notes, and I am upset when I die because that means the story is over. So I'm not a huge fan on those types of games. So I haven't played this yet. The story sounds really cool. I would just hate dying and having to sort of pick up the story. But, I haven't played this yet. It might be a different story, right? A different story every time, something new. I wouldn't just want to have to, replay the same basic items over and over again, trying to understand the larger story. But I think this is a game that I would want to play, but I already own this one, is the thing. So obviously that one's going to be a negative towards the bundle because I already own it. However, there's also Fallen Sunless Skies, 78 to 84. Sail the stars, betray your queen, murder a son. What? Sunless Skies is a gothic horror roleplay game with a focus on exploration and exquisite storytelling. Yeah, I love exquisite storytelling. I mean, it seems really neat. This sounds like it's not in the same universe. It seems like this is a different universe, but same type of game. Best written, most engaging, mind-blowingly esoteric backgrounds. Like, I love the H.P. Lovecraft mythos, the sort of, gothic mythos. It seems really cool. I would just hate to be in, just, like in the middle of an adventure, and then it's like, okay, you die, start over. I'd be like, snuggling up next to the fire with a good book, and then someone taking the book and just chucking it out the window. I don't know where this metaphor is going. I was going to say that and then just tell you to start over, but I guess then the book is out the window, so you have to go outside and get the book from outside and then come back, but you lost your bookmark and you have to start over. That was a really forced metaphor that didn't go where I was planning on having it go. I think I read somewhere that kind of turned me off from I want to just complete stories and not have narratives. But I think just based on the sort of lore and the mythos surrounding this seems like a absolute positive. Well, I already own the Sunless Sea. Don't own Sunless Skies. I think I want to give Sunless Sea a chance. And Sunless Sky would be in the same vein as being a positive. We got Iron Danger. Iron Danger. Iron Danger is a tactical combat game with a unique time manipulation mechanic, a never-before-seen combination that blends the tactical depth of turn-based games with the exciting action of real-time games. 75 to 78%, so I mean, pretty good. Indeed, finisher time manipulation RPG. I mean, the backgrounds look really good. Jeez, that was loud. I need to turn down. I'm gonna have it muted, of course, so you couldn't hear that loud music. Okay, so it looks like sort of like a 3D isometric game. There's big enemies like that. I don't play a lot of games like that. I guess I play a lot more first-person games. Okay, let's see. What is this? You have control over time. The core of Iron Danger is its unique time control mechanic. You can rewind time for up to 5 seconds whenever you want, trying different strategies and combinations of moves until you find the right one for the task at hand. So real-time combat gameplay with controls. So you have 5 seconds you can rewind at any time. Tactical combat, a puzzle-like element. You can always try new approaches. That's interesting. 5 seconds isn't a lot though, I guess, but if you want to like have a surprise attack and see how something goes, that might be pretty fun. What's the world and story? A world of lofty fells, primeval forests, and placid lakes, as well as living gods and monsters of steel. The city of Calafala. You take the rule of Capunia, a sharp-witted village girl who becomes imbued with the ancient power that grants dominion over time and death. You must use your wits to control it as you're drawn into the midst of a war between the city of Calafala and the armies of the Northlanders. I remember looking at some of the reviews. Non-RPG, it has no exterior loot. There's no items. You do not make choices. A very linear experience. No exploration. It's entirely level-based. Well, they look pretty. There's barely anything to find in them besides consumables and enemies. You can't freely travel between them. Real-time combat with a pause. You can pause to assign actions to your characters. They're divided into heartbeats. No save during missions. Combat's good, voice acting good, lore is good. Well, I don't know. It was going to be pretty neutral, I think. I mean, it looks fine, but I don't think it stands out for me, I don't think there's anything on here that makes it stand out. So I'm going to give this just a neutral rating. Okay, let's see what else. I realized before other videos I used the Steam website to better have more zoom so people can see it easier. So I'm going to do it that way from now on. So Autonauts, $20 game, 88.89. That's pretty good. Autonauts Age of Enlightenment is here. Culture your colonists for the first time with Autonomous of sort of automation-based games that have really popped up and gained popularity recently. I think in the last sample choice, there was a an automation game, wasn't there? Oh, maybe it was two ago. Yeah, I'm thinking of Autonomous Chef. Yeah, that's what it was. That's been really popular with like Factorio, with like Satisfactory, getting a lot of popularity, just having sort of automated crafting. Has pretty good reviews. It's quite simple. Lets you get into the game, understand the programming of the bots and how they work. The more you play, the more intricate the game gets. Usually say recommend. Biggest complaints that the later portion of the game becomes a real grind. I'm just not personally into a lot of the crafting type games. I don't know. Just in my games, I like having a story. Like, again, I can't overstate it. And of course, this is going to be different for every person. Some people love this type of games, and that's awesome. More power to you. But I like a story, and maybe this does have a little bit of a story, but I don't really want to like grind through things to get it. Know what I mean? I'm not good at crafting games like Minecraft and others. I guess I just don't have that, creativity to build something amazing on my own. Or maybe the patience or something. Not the patience to make 2-hour-long YouTube videos, but not to craft something or get good at a video game. But I don't know, I'm never good at those games. I just get bored easier and I'm not sure what to do. So I tend to prefer games that have, quests and objectives and storylines. So I'm sure this is a great game. I don't think it's one that I would end up playing. Let's look at Shadows Awakening. Shadows Awakening, a $40 game. 70 to 76 reviews. Percent reviews. Shadows Awakening is a unique isometric single-player RPG with real-time tactical combat. You embark on an epic adventure with challenging gameplay, a gripping storyline, and enchanting graphics. It's like we're seeing a ton of isometric single-player RPGs with real-time tactical combat in this bundle. Fae Tactics is, well, not as turn-based, but isometric. Sunless Sea is sort of isometric. Iron Danger, it's exactly the same. This looks like it has a really good Calypso Media. That's the same company that does Tropico. This looks really nice. I like how it looks. The new adventure in the Heretic Kingdoms saga. After the members of the secret council known as the Pentanera are assassinated, their souls are consumed by the Devourers, evil demons which possess the ability to absorb the memories and personalities of the souls they acquire and materialize them as their puppets, re-emerging into the mortal realm once again. The demonic Pentanera continue their quest for power and mortality, but at what cost? Well-made action RPG, GG. Combat and movement are terrible. Lots of characters to choose from and build your team. That sounds nice. Decisions have consequences, and there is so much loot. My dog is wanted to lay beside me and sort of making a snoring, sighing sound. More of a puzzle game than a Diablo clone. I was looking at more progression, and I want it now. It's my progression, and I want it now. JG Wentworth 877 progression now. Anyways, I mean, it looks really nice. Because the question that I have to keep asking myself is, I have 1,400 games. Is this going to be a game that I'm actually going to play over other ones that I have? And I'm just thinking, like, it's not doing enough to stand out to me, you know? I'm sure this is a lovely game, and the developers, Games Farm, I'm sure you made a lovely game. But it's just not gripping me. And let's look at Fantasy Blacksmith. That space bar way too loud. Oh, it has mixed reviews, 69% and 58%. You are a blacksmith in the world of the sword, magic, and war, in which any blacksmith who knows how to make even the simplest swords is in demand. You start off as a poor, unskilled blacksmith, but in time, you will gain experience and improve to achieve wealth, fame, and power, and change this world. I don't like the use of commas in this paragraph, but that's beyond the point. I mean, it seems like a cool concept of becoming a better and better blacksmith. I wonder why the reviews are so poor. That's sort of what's, shocking to me right here. The graphics seem okay. The particle effects doesn't look great, but it's just in like a still frame doesn't look great, but it probably looks great in game. The blacksmith simulator. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can create different swords with your different pieces and material, and it has different prices. It consists of 8 parts. Blade, 5 parts, crosscar handle, top. And you kind of like smack it around with your hammer. Beat your ingot into a blade. Damascus steel. Feel yourself a witch. You can make magic potions, magic runes. Oh, you mine ore. Oh, that's really interesting. The casino, a few minigames, variety of gameplay. Currently, dice and darts are being developed. Is this like early access? What does this mean, being developed? So people, let's see, tedious and very repetitive. Crafting chores should be fun if it's going to be in a game. This one looks like a chore. Not good, couldn't play for more than a few minutes. Too hard to remember which buttons to hit and when. I love the idea. It's a game that really caught my interest among this month's humble choice. The game lets me down to a lot of strange design choices and bad models. The texture for a forged sword always looks lumpy and the edge is blunt even after you sharpen the blade. You can make any sword you like as long as you like weird, janky, protruding every part. For an even lumpy sword. The sword you make is going to look between bland and dumb. So without the gameplay is fun. It's a set of mini games you switch to between and make a sword, all timing based, all uninspired, and pretty boring. I love crafting. This doesn't seem like the best first impression. I don't know how dark everything is. It's buggy. And that's not, although addicting, it's incredibly repetitive. There's a claim that there are tons of sword combos, but yet there are only 40 that look decent. It's always the same thing. Obtain metal, build sword, sharpen sword, enchant sword, then wait for someone to buy a sword. Yeah. This isn't a good look. And just as I was saying about grindy and repetitive stuff, this doesn't help my cause. I don't think this is one I would get into. Because it probably might be fun for like a half an hour or two. But then would get repetitive really quick. Not sure if it's for me. the only way to unveil a terrible truth. Interesting. So, like I said, I love walking simulators at 72%, which is okay. I love well-done walking simulators. You know, I have the games like Tacoma and what is it? What Remains of Edith Finch? Or what is it? What Remains of Edith Finch? And I played Gone Home. So I love, like I said, story is my number one attribute on what I like from a game. And if the story is well told, the gameplay could be a visual novel, which is clicking the mouse. I don't care. As long as it delivers a good story. So I've seen this before. I'm pretty sure it's on my wish list already. And it looks like very, very beautiful art. Like Firewatch, another example of an amazing game. 1993, Lewis and Clark Country in Montana. 10 years ago, teenager Nicole and her mother left the family hotel after discovering her father Leonard's affair with and pregnancy of Rachael, a girl her own age who eventually committed suicide. Now that both of her parents have passed, Nicole hopes to fulfill her mother's last will to sell the hotel and make amends to Rachel's relatives. With the will and determination to put that chapter behind her, she returns to the hotel with the family's lawyer to audit the decaying structure. As the weather unexpectedly takes a turn for the worst, Nicole has no way to leave the large mountain lodge and find support in Irving, a young FEMA agent using one of the first radio telephones ever built. With this help, Nicole starts to investigate a mystery far deeper than what people in the valley thought. A story of love and death, where melancholy and nostalgia melt into a thrilling ghost tale. This sounds like a mixture of The Shining, being trapped in a mountain lodge, and a Firewatch. You have support in another agent using a radio. That's very interesting. This game is easily comparable to Firewatch, a walking simulator that includes conversations with a disembodied voice on a radio. The relationship between the player character and said voice that develops organically as the story goes on, a mystery to be solved that gives one a sense of sinister dread. However, unlike Firewatch, which competently handles its themes of isolation, running from your past, the consequences of your actions, and so on, the suicide of Rachel Foster unfortunately completely fails to properly address its themes. Fans of short interactive adventures like Firewatch, Dear Esther, Stanley Parable, etc. should look elsewhere. While its setting and gameplay are certainly up to standard, the way it handles its stories and characters is repulsive and deeply disappointing. What? Hurts me to say that I don't recommend the game because you can see how much effort was put into it. It actually aces every technical aspect, but fails in the most important one when it comes to a walking sim, the story. Well, that's a little disheartening. The story is what I want the most. So it seems like the setting and the characters are really, really good. But I guess something about the story is really bad. I guess how it handles the character is bad. Well, that's really interesting. Because I love the story, and I love good walking sims. So they say it's like good walking sims, like Stanley Parable, Dear Esther, Firewatch, all great. Should look elsewhere. That's the top rated review. That's disheartening. That puts this game from like a very good positive to a very, very mild positive. I guess I would still want it. it's just like a leaning positive. Barely positive. Huh. Okay, I didn't realize that about this game. I don't know. I thought more, I suppose. Okay. Goat of Duty. Now, I've seen this before. I think it started with Goat Simulator. This sort of goat brand. Goat of Duty is a fast-paced multiplayer shooter where goats armed to the horns bleat face-to-face in a relentless deathmatch. Ram and troll your friends, own the craziest costumes, and put your skills to the test in the quirkiest FPS ever. Are you ready to become the goat of goats? The greatest of all time of goats. Yeah, so I actually already own this game, Goat of Duty. It looks ridiculous to play on Call of Duty. Just like this picture alone. Here, I want to see, is there any gameplay video? Just walking around shooting other goats, I guess. The levels look very, very threadbare. It has a 90%. Wow. Only 466 reviews and not a ton, but just this picture looks ridiculous. Is that a grenade launcher that this goat is holding? My goodness. It's like a fast-paced shooter. There's no lore here. You're a goat. You're armed to the teeth. Well, the horns. There's other goats out there that want to kill you. Then go there and show them what you've got. So like a multiplayer first-person shooter, probably similar to like Quake, is what I'm seeing. That is very, very interesting. However, I'm pretty sure I got this game for free. At some point, it was given away for free. And you know, I've never played it, though I haven't. I think there's other more established. If I wanted to play a shooter game, a multiplayer shooter, there's more established games that I'm going to be playing. There's like 40 people playing right now. Not huge lobbies going on. Okay, we got The Uncertain Last Quiet Day. This is a game, another game that I already own. The Uncertain is a story-driven adventure game set in a post-apocalyptic world. Experience the mysterious vibe of each of the carefully explored locations, solve the first puzzles, and make fateful decisions and discuss intriguing matters to find out the whole truth being kept from you. All reviews are at 79%, but 68%, so 68 to 79, which isn't great. Looks like this is a series I saw. Oh, you can buy multiple choice. Interesting. In The Uncertain Light at the end, it seems like this is a follow-up, maybe. The story here. Okay, so imagine making moral choices in a world devoid of morality. Logic rules this world, and every decision is just a set of zeros and ones. Most concepts take a whole new meaning, and some get completely abolished. So in post-apocalyptic world, you see it from the perspective of an engineering robot, RT-217NB, who seems to be very curious about the human race, long extinct and wasting wars. Experience the mysteries. Okay, so I guess you're a robot and you do puzzles. Okay, interesting. Not great reviews. Don't see a lot of positive. So it's point-and-click adventure, beautiful graphics and music, lots of lore. Loading time, puzzle problem. The props on a certain mark are not possible to pick up until until after you know you need them. It's quite slow. Okay, so I mean, controls are a bit clunky. Story is good, and right when it starts to get interesting, the game ends to be continued. So I guess good short stories, what people are saying. I already have this game actually, so I mean, this is a net negative for me towards my purchase of the bundle. I think I have a long list of games that I have on a list of, to potentially play for ASMR in the future. I think this was on there as a sort of slow-paced puzzle story game. So what I'm hearing is that the story is good. A little slow plays, a little clunky, and it cuts off right when it gets good. So that's probably, oh yeah, the uncertain line at the end. Available October 8th, so just in a couple of days. Clearly they want people to get this, the first game in the series, and want them to like it, so that way they get the next game in the series. I see through your marketing. New Game Order, the publisher. Historical low is 112. However, I do think this game was also given away for free at some point. Yeah. So not gonna help me in my decision here. We got Basement. Basement is a strategy game where you start doing illegal businesses to fund the development of your dream video game. It won't be easy, so get ready to deal with other gangs, cops, crazy junkies, mysterious investors, and even ghosts from the past. That is a crazy premise. It has a 78% review. $20 game, but its historical low is $1 on itch.io. Best ever on Steam is currently $3 on itch.io. Currently, our historical low is $9.43 on Steam. Okay, this is a crazy concept. So you want to fund a dream video game, so you do illegal businesses. Why can't, once you have your first successful game, you just ride on that money and stop your illegal businesses? I don't know. Not nearly enough content for $20 rushed out of early access. One-dimensional, unfunny, and insanely difficult. Easy, good. Feels like an independently made game, for better or for worse. Zero major bugs. Seems like people are saying, hey, it's fun to a point, and then it gets pretty old. This just sounds crazy. Like illegal businesses, recharges green. Looks like poisoning damage. Kind of like in a pixel that you dig in your basement. Sort of like a style like Beholder. Have you ever played that? That's a really good game. You fight. I'm just gonna say this doesn't seem like a game that's really gonna interest me. Just really sort of off the wall, and that's fine. But I like games, like management games. Like Game Dev Tycoon or something. But I don't know about this illegal businesses, and there's capture things and people must not die and other gangs fight you. I'm really not sure about that. Alright, Lightmatter. The last one. Yes, I saw this. So it's free. It's like a trial, I guess, and then there's the full game as $20 as DLC. Not sure why they did that. I guess this is just like a trial. But it says, a first-person puzzler where shadows kill you. Watch your step or be which I know I like and I enjoy, Logic. The first game ever on this channel was the Talos Principle, which is very sort of logic puzzle first-person game. That was really interesting. Dear visitor, if you are reading this, you are quite fortunate. You have been personally invited to the world debut of Lightmatter, the greatest breakthrough in renewable energy since the sun was born. Wow. This invitation includes a 1-hour tour through my facility, a 10-second glance at the launch of Lightmatter, as well as 5 seconds of eye contact with me. That is not enough. Bring your wallet. An investment will give you the full tour and prolong our time together. If you behave, I will even let you shake my hand. That's a pretty funny letter from the CEO. I guess the investment is the $20. Okay. So, I mean, it seems like it's a pretty good puzzler. Fairly quick, snarky, clever puzzle game. It takes setting inspiration from Valve's Portal and implements puzzle mechanics very similar to that of the Talos Principle. If you play either of those two, this game would be a short and sweet delight. If you like Portal, you will like this game. Yeah, the CEO was reminding me of Cave Johnson from Portal 2. In terms of like a funny, silly CEO. I mean, this sounds pretty cool. It's like a sort of quick, cheap type game. Yeah, but I think this is a plus. Okay, we've looked at every single game. Now it's time to make the decision of if I will purchase this bundle. Are these collections of games worth the $12 or so? So let's kind of recap. Tropico 6 seems pretty fun. Would I play it? Probably. So I'm giving that Tropico 6 a thumbs up. Fae Tactics. I don't think it's quite the type of game that I would play. It seems like a nice game, but that's neutral. The Sunless bundle. Sunless C I already have, and I should play. Sunless guy I don't have and I want to play. So if I just consider this as that kind of makes it like a kind of evens out, I think, a neutral, maybe slightly positive, because I do want Sunless C. Iron Danger didn't really stand out to me. I think that's neutral to negative. Autonauts, sure it's great, but I don't like automation games so much. Negative. Shadow Awakening, I mean, it seems pretty good, but I don't know if I'd play it. I'd call that a neutral. Fantasy Blacksmith didn't have great reviews, and it was repetitive and boring, so that's a negative. Suicide of Rachael Foster, I thought was going to be a very, very positive, but now reading it, it's just like a light positive. Code of Duty, I already own, so that's going to be a negative. The Uncertain, I already own, so that's going to be a negative. Basement, it doesn't look like something I'd enjoy. It's going to be a negative. Lightmatter, I would say, is a positive, like a fun Portal-like game. Okay, so we got. We have for pastas, we have 1 with Tropico. I guess 2 for Suicide of Rachael Foster, 3 for Lightmatter. For negatives, we have Autonomous is negative. See, Blacksmith is negative. Go to duty is negative. Uncertain is negative. Basement is negative. In neutral, we have Fae Tactics, Sunless Bundle, Iron Danger, Shadow's Awakening. So, by my count, we have 3 positives, 4 neutral, and 5 negatives. That's not a great ratio. And, like, I'm just thinking of previous games, or like previous months. I had Catherine, Occupation was a positive. Sheep-Dragon Detective was a positive. Golf with Your Friend was a positive. Vampiries, so I had at least 5, at least 5 solid positives. This has not a lot of positives, and on top of that, I might count Sunless Bundle as a positive because I want Sunless Guy, but on top of that, Go to Duty was given away for free before. The Uncertain Less Quiet Take was given away for free before. And I looked it up. Lightmatter, I think, was actually given for free as a Twitch Prime free game. So 25% of the games have been given away before, and this, I think this month really lacks a headliner, a true headliner, AAA, not necessarily AAA, but a really grabbing game. Maybe if Rachael Foster was a huge positive. And, like, most of my positives, too, are, it's like, yeah, I might play it positive, not like oh yes, I definitely want to play this game positive. My positives aren't strong positives. I already own, 1, 2, 3 games in there. I think that this is going to be the first time in my 3 videos of this series that I'm passing. I won't be getting this month's Humble Bundle. Yeah, unfortunately. I think I still want Lightmatter, but that's not a AAA. That's not like a game that I really want, a high-end game. Disappointed in Suicide of Rachael Foster. I thought I'd really want it, but after reading that the story, which is the most important part to me, isn't great, I don't want it as much. Sunless Guy, I want, and I think that one is still like a pretty strong positive. But I already own one of the 2 games in this bundle. So I own 3 games. In Tropico 6 as the AAA game is just a slight positive. I haven't played 4 or 5. Or 3 or 4 that I own. So I'm not sure what would make me play this one. Yeah, wow, this is going to be a pass for me. I typically don't pass. But this has a large collection of games I already own. The positives are light. Just a lot of sort of just neutral games to me. Games that seem fine, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that really like them, but just I don't think they would ever grab me enough for me to actually play them or to get them. So, a pause. Yeah, wow. A rare pause from me. Well, please let me know, if you're a humble subscriber, if you're pausing or getting this month, your thoughts on these games. Even if, say, you were a huge fan of Tropico and you really, really want Tropico 6, and it's usually $55 for this Prez edition, getting this whole thing for $12 is a steal. Absolute steal. So sometimes if there's just one game that grabs you, it can be a steal. And of course, everyone's different. Some people might just absolutely love isometric, turn-based or real-time, fighting games. Just not quite up my alley. So it's going to be different for everyone. So some people might think this month is amazing. Some people, like myself, just very neutral on this one, and I just don't think I'd ever play any of these. So please let me know what you think. If you're going to get any of these. If you've played any of these games and you can say, yo, Spaceman, I actually play Iron Danger and I love this game, and here's why. Because I have to make just assumptions based on what I'm saying in the store pages without actually playing them or really even watching videos. And I'm sure that there's some games that might be my favorite game in the world if I gave it a shot. I just will never know. So sad, so sad. But not this month. Not this month. Which is almost kind of good because I thought people would just see me get all these games every single month and just say I'm not picky at all and just get every game. And that's why my library is so large. But I do, okay, I'm doing legit evaluations here. And will pause from time to time. I'm kind of sad that I'm not getting these new games, but I mean, with my bundle, or with my library so big, I haven't even played any games from the previous 2 months. Call of Cthulhu, that was on my list. I don't think I've played any of the games yet. Kind of just goes into my library. Yeah, none of those games yet. And none of those games yet. So, I just have so many games. It's probably best that I don't keep getting bundles. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. And I'll see you next